My name is Anton Brown. Who or what am I? And should you pay any attention to anything I have to say? Seems to me a fair enough question. So I'm just going to rattle off a list of what I've been up to. I've been a musician from an early age, starting with piano, violin. In my teens, that was classical. In my teens, I got into guitar, rock, soul, funk, blues. Added other instruments because I started writing songs and needed a way of demoing them. So if you could play well enough, it's much easier to demo instruments. Eventually, decided I really needed to sing the songs I was writing, to see if I could get publishing. So I looked at that and decided to go to Goldsmiths. Went there for 3 years for evening classes on a jazz course because I thought that would be probably more demanding. I think it probably was. I then got into jazz and those songwriters from back in the day and went to the Guildhall School of Music and Drama on a postgrad course for a year. When I left the Guildhall, I launched myself as a singer. I started working with a big band and stayed with them for 20 years, doing the Sinatra, Nat King Cole, Tony Bennett repertoire, and I learnt what it is to be a singer. Came somewhat dissatisfied with that because the singer felt to me that it was always on top of the music. You couldn't really influence it, certainly not in a big band. And I liked to be in amongst the music, which you could do more so with instruments, it seemed. So I started playing instruments again and singing rather than being singer. Now I'm a musical director on Bateau London, Thames Cruises. I play piano, I do the sound for the singers and the lighting and so on. And I also sing on the Sunday lunch jazz cruise. And in the evening, if a singer's ill, then I'll come in and cover for them and do various gigs, often playing bass and singing, which I like, various things, keeping myself busy with that. The other side is the teaching. When I left college, I also started teaching, as many musicians do, not just for the money, though we all need that, but because I'd worked hard at it, and if you feel you've discovered some things, you've gained some skills, it's nice to share them. If you can share them and get paid, and it's all about music, seems pretty good to me. I developed my teaching and taught all various London colleges. I've written degree courses, BTEC courses. I co-wrote the London College of Music singing grades, popular music vocals. They're the first pop singing grades in the country, I believe, and I co-wrote them with Tony Skinner. I was professor of jazz voice at Trinity College of Music, which is now called Trinity Laban. Worked on The Voice UK as one of the vocal coaches behind the scenes, not on television, but behind or listening to singers. And the teaching now is really just the Brit School. I started at the Brit School in 91, so I've been there 26 years. The students are the best in the country. They're interesting. They're singers, songwriters, musicians. Demanding, which I like. There's no set. They're all quite individualistic. There's no set thing I can apply to them. So it's for me to see who is this I've got in front of me and what would be right for them if I can help them. Being a musician, I've been quite into gear, guitars, what have you, basses and amps, valve amps I like. Talk to saxophonists about reeds and ligatures and mouthpieces and the type of brass. Talk to violinists about the wood. It seems that musicians and instrumentalists are quite into their gear. And this has now headed towards microphones. I became fascinated with, first of all, this instrument, the voice, and then secondly, the voice's second instrument, the microphone, and the interplay between them. And I've been looking at that a lot, using the mics with other singers, using them at the Brit School, getting to understand that relationship and how this, I maybe call it a paintbrush, can be used. Got 3 websites, which are all actually in one. But there's the Sing Thing, where there are singing exercises, breathing exercises, quite detailed stuff you can download for free. antonbrown.co.uk is what you've just heard. And the one I'm working on at the moment is themagicofthemicrophone.com, where I'm looking at vocal processes, microphone technique, and we'll be reviewing various microphones that hopefully help people to learn how to use this other instrument, and then choose which one might be best for their particular voice or circumstances.